I took the night shift at a remote highway motel because nobody else wanted it. The pay was surprisingly good. The manager, a tired-looking man named Walter, hired me in less than 10 minutes. He barely glanced at my resume before handing me a room key and a folded sheet of paper. "Most of it's common sense," he said. "Just follow the rules." I laughed. I thought he was joking. I stopped laughing when I read rule number 7. At exactly 2:43 a.m., check room 12. If the door is open, close it immediately. Do not enter the room. That was it. No explanation, no details, just a warning. The motel sat alone beside a forgotten stretch of highway, surrounded by dense pine forest. Most nights, only 3 or 4 rooms were occupied. The first few shifts were uneventful. Then on my 5th night, I looked at the security monitor and saw room 12 standing open. The digital clock read 2:43 a.m. exactly. I grabbed my flashlight and walked across the empty parking lot. The door to room 12 was wide open. The room should have been vacant. Nobody had rented it in months. I stood in front of the doorway and looked inside. The furniture was covered with white sheets. The air smelled damp. Nothing seemed unusual. Remembering the rule, I stepped forward and gently pushed the door shut. The latch clicked. The moment it closed, a loud bang came from inside, as if something had slammed against the wall. I froze. Another bang followed, then silence. I backed away and returned to the office. The next morning, I asked Walter about room 12. He stared at me for several seconds before answering. "You closed the door, right?" "Yeah." "Good." That was the end of the conversation. Over the following weeks, the same thing happened again and again. Every few nights, 2:43 a.m., room 12 open, close the door, hear the impact, go back inside, never enter. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. One rainy night, I decided to break the rule. At 2:43 a.m., the door opened as usual. I crossed the parking lot and stepped inside. At first, nothing happened. The room looked abandoned. Dust coated every surface. Then I noticed something strange. The bathroom mirror wasn't reflecting me. It was reflecting the room, but the room was occupied. A man stood in the reflection, tall, thin, wearing a dark motel uniform. He wasn't behind me. He only existed in the mirror. Slowly, the figure raised one finger and pointed toward the bathtub. My pulse hammered in my ears. I walked closer. The bathtub was empty, but beneath it I found a loose floor panel. When I pulled it open, I discovered a hidden crawl space. Inside was a rusted metal box, and inside the box were decades-old employee records. One file immediately caught my attention. The photo showed a young motel worker. His name was Daniel Hart. Date of disappearance, October 14th, 1987. Never found. I looked back at the mirror. The figure was gone, but words had appeared across the glass. Written in fog, "He knows." Thunder shook the building. Every light in the room went out. The darkness felt alive. Then footsteps began moving toward me from somewhere inside the room. Slow, heavy, getting closer. I ran. I didn't stop running until I reached the office. The next morning, I confronted Walter. I showed him the employee file. The color drained from his face. After several minutes of silence, he confessed. Years ago, Daniel had discovered evidence of criminal activity happening at the motel. Before he could report it, someone murdered him and hid the evidence. The case was buried. The motel remained open, and room 12 never stayed closed. That night, I called the police. An investigation reopened. Old evidence was recovered. The truth finally came out. The motel shut down permanently 3 months later, but even now I still think about that mirror. Sometimes in dreams I see room 12 again, the door slowly opening, the empty hallway beyond, and a figure standing inside the reflection watching me, waiting. If you enjoyed this story and want more dark mysteries, unsettling encounters, and late-night horror tales, make sure to subscribe to Nap Noir. The story ends here, but some mysteries never truly end. Good night, and I'll see you in the next story.